Our guest today is Professor Hisae Nakanishi from the Graduate School of International Development at Nagoya University here in Japan, and it is November 7, 2007. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom and experience from a very important part of the Middle East. Now, I'd like you first to say a little bit about your own background and how you got to know so much about Iran and Turkey.
Well, when I was a high school student, I was already interested in the Middle East. So I decided to major in the Middle Eastern studies from the undergraduate education. And then 1979, Iranian Revolution happened. That made me much impact. I was wondering why religious revolution in the last quarter of the 20th century happening. And then what is the roots of the revolution? That was a starting point, my interest in Iran. About Turkey, it's about 8 years ago. I was wondering why Islamic parties are gaining power, even though secularism continued for more than 70 years. So it was very interesting contrast with Iran. And on the one hand, Iran's regime is very Islamic, but I found out people are not necessarily so religious as a fact. On the other hand, Turkey's regime is secular, but then people are so religious in a way. So I thought it's very interesting to look at.
You've been studying in Iran as a
Yes,
professional scholar.
Yes, I conducted a lot of field research. Particularly since 1998, I frequently traveled to Iran 2-3 times a year.
A few months ago, you published an article on TFF's website about the risk of war between Turkey and the northern part of Iraq, the PKK forces. What is behind the risk, and do you think the risk has increased over the last few months?
I think, first of all, United States overlooked the magnitude of growing anti-American sentiment among Turkish people. Anti-US sentiment was growing in the last few years, but the United States didn't take it so seriously. The reason why is that the United States has been always a troublemaker in the region for Turkey. The time of Gulf War, which is 1991, Turkey received a lot of economic repercussion, to say nothing of influx of migrants and refugees coming from Iraq. So it was a huge cost to Turkey. But the United States decided to wage another war in March 2003. That was already unthinkable for Turkey. So that is one first background. And secondly, Turkey has contributed much to the US and Europe by dispatching a lot of peacekeeping activities, peacekeeping missions to Lebanon, Bosnia, and currently Afghanistan. But US and the EU do not really provide much credit to Turkey. Instead, the EU-Turkey negotiation for Turkey's entry into the EU broke down last year. And then conditionality for Turkey to join in the EU was another issue. And then the Copenhagen criteria, but the EU has been imposing a lot of unacceptable conditions to Turkey. For example, Turkey has to recognize the fact of, but this fact is by EU's point of view, the fact of assassination or Armenian massacre in 1915. So, do you remember the bill which was passed in Congress in the United States.
Just a few weeks ago.
Right,
Yeah.
the saying and criticizing Turkey's Armenian massacre in 1915. And the question is, why now US has done such a thing? So that was an impetus for anchoring Turkish government, the Turkish military. And then people are so nationalistic now.
Do you think that the risk of a crisis between Turkey and the PKK in northern Iraq has increased further, or are you actually thinking that it might blow up and Turkey will invade?
I do not exclude the possibility of Turkey's military invasion in northern Iraq, as a matter of fact. There was a Rice and Erdogan meeting a few days ago, but US couldn't deliver anything to Turkey because the United States has been well connected with the Kurdistan government, which support directly and indirectly PKK. So the infiltration of a PKK is not just insecurity of Turkey, but this is a territorial issue. Turkey may lose southeast part of Turkey. So for this reason, as long as PKK's activities continue to be active, there's always a risk.